Einen wunderschönen, schön, dass ihr wieder dabei seid bei Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishment. Wir helfen derzeitig unseren Geheimdienstbund-Chef, dem Wiggins, bei seinem Bruder, beziehungsweise bei der Problematik bezüglich seines Bruders, denn der ist nämlich verhaftet worden, weil er angeblich, so laut allen Zeugenaussagen, einen zweifachen Mord begangen hat. Und wir haben hier einen freundlichen Nachbarn gefunden, der schon von Anfang an, zumindest mir, sehr dubios vorkam. Und natürlich war es auch ein bisschen dubios, denn er hat irgendetwas am Tatort mitgehen lassen. Und das hat er natürlich nicht erzählt. Und wir gucken mal, was es ist, denn hier sind wir stehen geblieben. Bücher. Fettige Fingerabdrücke.
I can see prints from greasy fingers upon the cover of this book. Let us take a closer look.
Moby Dick. Okay.
Well now, what a find. A precious jewel, concealed inside a book.
Ja, und er hat das Buch auseinandergeschnitten, Löcher rausgeschnitten aus dem Buch. Oder ein Loch reingeschnitten in das Buch, damit er das dort reinpacken kann. Guckt euch das mal an. Sieht sehr interessant aus.
A bracelet with a unique ram's head design. A distinctive feature of ancient Grecian artifacts, probably of the Hellenistic era.
Das hätte, ne? Das hätte definitiv was bringen können. Wir fragen mal nach. Ist aber kein Problem. So viele Charaktere dürften ja gar nicht auftauchen. Ryan Turner ist um die 60 Jahre alt und ein Veteran aus dem Krimkrieg, worauf er sehr stolz ist. Vermutlich wurde er im Krieg am Bein verletzt und hinkt seitdem. Ryan Turner lebt in verhältnismäßig armen Verhältnissen. So, befragen, reden Sie mit Mr. Turner? Na klar, machen wir das. Komm mal her, mein Freund. Du hast dich da ein paar Widersprüche verwickelt.
Mr. Turner, how would it be possible for a man of advanced years, such as yourself, to rush from his bed to the window in a matter of seconds, as you have stated?
Well, I'm able to move very quickly, despite my age. And when the situation requires it, Mr. Holmes.
Aha. Turners hinken.
I highly doubt that, Mr. Turner. I observe that you suffer a severe limp due to your injured right leg. It would have taken at least 10 seconds for you to approach the window. That means you could have easily missed something or someone in Half Moon Street during that time.
You're right, Mr. Holmes. I could have missed something. But it did seem to me that everything happened so quickly. Oh, time can pull tricks on you.
Tja. Komm.
And what of everything else that you told us? Mr. Turner, it is vital that we have your complete and true statement.
Mr. Holmes, I do assure you that the other things I said were most sincere.
Nein, das ist es nicht.
Mr. Turner, you were not sincere with me. Not then and not now.
But Mr. Holmes...
This, Mr. Turner, does not look like anything that a poor man might possess. It is worth more than the home that you live in.
I can explain.
No, merely correct me if I am wrong. You saw Leighton Chapman through the window, but you also noticed a glittering object on the ground, this precious jewel. You walked down and took the bracelet from the body of Kenneth Butler, and when you heard the whistles, you hurried away. That broke your walking stick. It caught fast between the cobbles. Constable Marrow was unable to see you in the window, as you were climbing up the stairs on your way back to your flat. Upon returning home, you hid the precious jewel inside a book.
Mr. Holmes, please don't send me to prison. I didn't do anything bad. I'm just a poor man. When I chanced upon the bracelet, I saw it as an opportunity to make a little money. I was desperate. I only took the bracelet, that's all, I swear.
You made a mistake by lying to me. But you are not a criminal. I believe that. Although I must return this bracelet to its rightful owner.
Genau. Tut mir ja leid, aber Gut, aber damit geht mehr oder weniger die Zeugenaussage in Detail flöten. Denn was ist jetzt die Aufgabe? Tatort, reden mit Zeugen, fragen Sie Polizeistationen und Armreif. Okay, Entschuldigung, so. Dann werden wir mal runter. Ja. So, mein Junge. Wiggins.
Mr. Holmes, did you see my brother at Scotland Yard? Is he all right?
Haben wir noch nicht gemacht.
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
A fairly long pole with a forked end.
Wann haben wir die Lampe eigentlich in der Hand genommen? Ich habe gar nicht geachtet gerade. So, hier müsste es auch wieder weggehen, ne? Was ist denn hier? Ach so, wir haben ja hier noch die nette Dame. Polly!
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the crime that took place this evening.
Well, I've already gave my testimony, but very well.
Oh, ich finde das so schön mit diesem Akzent, ja? Oh, die analysieren wir gar nicht.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes. I was selling my flowers as usual, and then the fireworks began, in honour of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand.
Okay.
He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood. It was dark, but I could see him, because of the flashes from the fireworks.
And then?
I screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He had no time to escape. 2 constables got him. Then another constable came out from the very same street, and I heard him talking of a horrible murder.
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fireworks?
Did you see anyone else leaving Half Moon Street, prior to or at the time of the crime?
No, sir, I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
My thanks to you, Mrs. Powell.
Okay, das hätten wir abgeschlossen. Das heißt, dort geht's nicht weiter, ne? Genau, und dort hinten auch nicht. Ist der Polizist 100% vertrauenswürdig? Wir wissen es nicht.
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your
Ja, nee.
investigation.
Pleasure ist egal. Wir wollen zu Scotland Yard. Wir werden mal die Aussage von dem Bruder von Wiggins aufnehmen. So, die eine kann die Schüsse gar nicht identifizieren, der andere kann mindestens sagen, und das glaube ich auch, dass es stimmt, dass die Schüsse zeitlich versetzt waren und unterschiedlich hell bzw. dunkel klangen. Das könnte sehr
Mr.
interessant
Holmes.
werden. Jo.
Whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Tja,
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
gut. Wir werden dementsprechend, haben wir uns hier schon mal direkt drin umgesehen? Guck mal hier. Shapes of Noses. Warum? An der Nase des Mannes, das zählt doch, glaube ich, nicht, ne? So, hier. Wie? Achso, die Leichen sind ja noch nicht hier. Ah. Ich hätte gern nämlich die Patrone aus dem einen Opfer und aus dem anderen Opfer auch. Vielleicht ist ja auch die Waffe gar nicht die richtige Mordwaffe. Fangen wir erstmal mit den einfachen.
These
Ja.
cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting.
Ein Apfel.
A cheap watch, bought with his own money, no doubt. So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon.
Eins, zwei, drei, vier. 2 Schüsse abgegeben.
It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder. Two out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots.
Aber sie waren unterschiedlich hell bzw. dunkel, hatte der eine Zeuge gesagt. Das ist der einzige Person nach... Unterschiedliche Schüsse. Und der Revolver. Das passt nicht. Mr. Turner konnte Unterschiede zwischen den 2 Schüssen hören, weil in Wahrheit 3 Schüsse abgefeuert wurden. Zuerst ein einzelner und direkt danach 2 gleichzeitige Schüsse. Oh. Das eine müssen wir erforschen, das andere nicht. Ich wäre ja fürs Erforschen, aber gucken wir kurz noch nach den weiteren Hinweisen. Können wir das überprüfen? Kenneth Butler und Brian sind Opfer eines Doppelmords geworden, der von einem einzelnen Täter begangen wurde. Okay, das ist das Statement. Keine Beute. Okay. Übereinstimmende Aussagen, dass der Revolver mit dabei war. Die Zeugenaussagen und die Tatwaffe deuten klar auf einen möglichen Täter hin. Leighton Chapman. Das ist auch soweit richtig. 2 Opfer, keine Beute. Doch Beute. Oh. Okay. Ich würde ja gerne das einfach mal probieren. Aber erstmal frage ich natürlich unseren Schutzpatron. Nee, Schutzpatron nicht. Wir sind ja der Schutzpatron. So. Wo ist er denn? Ach, der sitzt schon drin, ne? Nee, sitzt nicht drin.
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes, da ist er.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
Okay, los. Aber erst gucken wir uns an hier. So, ja. Eine Narbe. Städtische Mode, ruhige Arbeit, Büroangestellter. Dann scheint er ja recht gut betucht zu sein, also normal. Ach, guck mal. Hat Straftat begangen. Mussten die sich tätowieren, wenn sie im Westgate waren? Ich weiß es gar nicht. Aber er ist jetzt Büroangestellter. Oh, er hat was abgekriegt. Widerstand geleistet, Hitzkopf.
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw 2 men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me.
Okay.
The second I saw him, He raised his head, and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead, and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
Die Whitechapel Street, war das die, wo sie war oder wo der Constable war?
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand, though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
Okay. Dann hat der zweimal geschossen. Was wäre, also sprich, der eine mit der Schusswunde im Kopf, der hatte den Revolver mit den 2 fehlenden Schüssen. Und der hat dann gefeuert. Einmal mit der Bauchwunde und das andere daneben geschossen. Auf den Kompagnon, der wahrscheinlich sich versteckt hatte. Wie wäre das denn eigentlich? Das wäre eigentlich eine gute These.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man. Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I
Na
see.
super.
Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps it's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
Vielleicht hat er auch keine Schuhe angehabt.
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
Westgate-Insassen.
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Tja, haha, wir haben immer recht.
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
We shall see you soon, young man.
Leighton Chapman. Chapman ist der ältere Bruder von Wiggins und zwischen 20 und 30 Jahre alt. Er wuchs auf der Straße auf und, hitzköpfig wie er war, wanderte er für eine kriminelle Tat ins Westgate-Gefängnis. Im Moment lebt er nicht mehr auf der Straße und arbeitet vermutlich als Angestellter in einem Londoner Büro. Was haben wir bekommen? Wir haben noch das im Archiv suchen. Nun gut, wir haben eine Aussage, die klingt auch sehr nachvollziehbar. Und ich würde sagen, wir werden in der nächsten Folge dann ein paar Sachen in Erfahrung bringen. Das Archiv muss warten bis zur nächsten Folge. Euer Firefox.